It's not that you're not capable or anything else. I don't know. I don't know. I can't give my trust out to anybody anymore. Yeah. Every time you do, they burn you. Yeah. Every time you're like, oh.
It's because we have a fallen world and mankind has fallen, and we can never put, I don't believe that we were created to be able to put our faith wholly, solely, except for our spouse, in another person, certainly not in a politician. I don't believe that, except, you know, looking back on our founding fathers and seeing the sincerity there, the genuine love that they had of country, I don't think in recent days we can find too many of those politicians.
That's why we got to stop looking at, stop taking from the barrel and start picking from the tree. Who's your favorite founder?
You know, well, all of them, because they came collectively together with so much diverse,
Who's your favorite?
so much diverse opinion and so much diversity in terms of belief, but collectively they came together to form this union. No, and they were led by, of course, George Washington. So he's got to rise to the top. Washington was the consummate statesman. He served, he returned power to the people. He didn't want to be a king. He returned power to the people. Then he went back to Mount Vernon. He went back to his farm. He was almost reluctant to serve as president, too. And that's who you need to find to serve in government, in a bureaucracy. Those who you know will serve for the right reasons, because they're reluctant to get out there and seek a limelight and seek power. They're doing it for the people. That was George Washington.
He's my favorite for that reason as well. He was the indispensable man. And that's why I say I'm waiting for George Washington to appear. Someone who doesn't want to serve, but will because he must. And someone who's so beyond question that he can bring people together and say, look, we got to do this. This is going to be hard.
That's exactly what we need to seek in a candidate. Someone, I'll repeat this, almost reluctant to serve. Someone who will not prostitute themselves and say what they believe a voter wants to hear at that time in order to get elected. But someone whom the people find and ask, will you sacrifice, will you do this for our country to get us back on the right track?
That is why I think you're on the most admired list. Because some people find you to be that. Because you came out of the blue, and you did serve, you were asked to serve, and you got butchered, and you continually get butchered, and yet you're still going.
Well, let me tell you one thing in that vein. I would be perfectly happy to go back to Wasilla, Alaska with my 5 children and my grandson and raise a happy, healthy family, loving our great outdoors, doing the things that we do in Alaska. But if I believe that in some capacity I can help this great nation, I'm going to be willing to sacrifice and to change some things in my lifestyle in order to serve. Okay. That doesn't have to mean, though, top dog. That doesn't have to really entail having any kind of title.
Okay, back in a second. Sarah and I would like to make an offer to NBC. Next.
Are you sure you don't want to speak to Fox News? Who knows? Maybe they can be fair and balanced.
Really? Let's check in with Glenn Beck.
And if I write down the name Obama, we can rearrange the letters and spell aroma. And I don't like what I'm smelling. And for those of you saying, hey Glenn, those letters don't actually rearrange to spell that. Well, to you I say, in Mother Russia they do.
Specifically, what would you do? We're going to promote freedom, usher in democratic values and ideals, and fight terror-loving terrorists.
We were just talking as those clips were playing.
They're good.
They are. They're very funny. Very funny. We were just talking about, we both graduated the same year, and we're both just, you know, schlubs out of no place. And just like, all of a sudden here we are. We find ourselves in this amazing place. It is so weird to see yourself on Saturday Night Live, isn't it?
It is weird.
It's just bizarre. Sarah and I would like to make an offer to NBC. Would you like to make the offer?
I think that we should co-host.
I mean,
How could they say no?
they will.
I bet
They will.
I bet they won't.
Want to make the bet?
I bet they won't. I don't know what the stakes will be here in this bet, but
Okay.
no, I bet
Steak
that they,
sounds good.
a steak.
A steak sounds good,
That's my
yes.
favorite. That would be great. I can envision episode after episode of things that I can mock of myself.
Oh, they think they can make fun of us? I can make fun of me better.
Oh, They have no idea
They have no
some of the
idea.
things.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So NBC, there you go. It'll be a very highly rated show, I'm guessing. We'll make fun of us, give you guys the time off where you don't have to make fun of us, and we'll co-host the show.
That would be a delight. I would do it. And if they're daring enough, they will say,
No.
yeah, we'll hand this over to you.
No, they're
Here's the
busy.
mic."
They're busy right now. I think firing everybody on at night. I think that's what
God.
they're busy.
What a mess.
Do you ever watch those things and are you hurt by it?
I'm not hurt by it. I'm not, because I appreciate, she who imitates me had been Tina Fey. I appreciate her talent. I think she's really good, and it's funny.
Because I thought about this on the way here for the interview. I think you should do a Tina Fey impersonation.
Oh, I would love to do that.
I mean, I don't know what that would be like exactly, but that really did. That's where your image comes from, don't you think?
Well, the only scary thing about all that is that people did start mixing that parody with those things that I actually have said in interviews,
Right.
and some of the reality started kind of atrophying into whatever it was that she was saying. So that was a scary thing, that some people weren't intelligent enough to know what the difference was. But no.
Well, no, that was you and me that weren't intelligent enough. We figured that out. Who else? There's other people dumber than us? Who could those people be?
We need to do this, though, because, yeah, I could go on and on about some of the things that I could mock myself about, and I'm sure you would say the same about yourself.
I've been making fun of me for years. I'm a professional at it. Back in NBC, call us. Just call the switchboard at Fox, because the red phone is usually tied up. Call me. Back in a second. Back for the final minutes with Sarah Palin. Just over my shoulder, you see the Statue of Liberty, but just off just a little bit, you'll see Ellis Island. This year, I'm doing a series of conventions: faith, hope, and charity. Faith, God is important. Hope comes from telling people the truth, and charity is allowing them to be free.
Yeah.
That was a center of freedom for so many people. Address immigration, illegal immigration, here real quick. We got about 2 minutes.
Let me address legal immigration, and we need to continue to be so welcoming and inviting of those who are represented there by our Statue of Liberty. The immigrants, of course, built this country, and I think Republicans, conservatives are at fault when we allow the other side to capture this immigration issue and try to turn this issue into something negative for Republicans. I think we need to recognize that, again, immigrants built this great country. There are rules to follow if you want to be a part of this great country. Let's make sure people are following those rules, but let's welcome this.
Do you agree with me? Make it the door wider, make it easier to bring people in. Bill Gates said, I'm having a hard time keeping people here because it's so complex. Just streamline it, make it easier for people to come in the right way.
Every part of bureaucracy needs to be streamlined, absolutely, and people do need to come in the right way. They cannot take advantage of what this country has to offer, the opportunities, the health that is here. They need to do this legally.
Are you a Republican?
I'm a registered Republican.
How do you feel about that?
There are times that I am tempted to bail from the party. There have been times in my political career and just be an independent, but I recognize we are a two-party system. The Republican Party, the planks in our platform are the best, strongest planks upon which to build a great state in Alaska, a great country. I'm going to stay a Republican, but there are those temptations.
Does that rule out third party for you? I'm not saying a run. I'm just saying, would you support a third party?
I don't think that there is that need for a third party if Republicans will get back to what the planks
That's a
say.
giant if. That's a giant if. You're right. If they get back to what they're supposed to do.
What they are supposed to do. Now, if individual candidates, campaigns, and then elected officials aren't going to do what they promised to do, standing on those planks in the platform, you got to fire them. You got to get rid of them.
Okay. America, we'll see you next on Saturday Night Live, I'm sure. Sarah, great.
Thank you.
Great to meet you.
Thank you so
very
much. You too.
From New York, good night, America.